And I was talking to the ladies, Mama Sampamanhene, the second.
Okay. So the order was to enter the name in the National Register of Chiefs within 24 hours. Respondent is granted 24 hours upon receipt of the copy of the order to insert the name of applicant into the register of chiefs. And we all know if he hadn't done it, of course, he consulted me, I invited our counsel, and we all agreed that if he failed to do it, then he will face contempt charges. So we wish to inform all members that this is what we did yesterday. We did it because the court really compelled us to do so. The next one is a simultaneous Queen Mother's funeral. The program is Wednesday, September 17, 5 passed by National House of Chiefs, representatives of regional House of Chiefs, clergy, diplomats, and political leaders. And when does it start? No, time. No time. Otunfo arrives at Gabriel at 11 a.m. Okay. Any other? No. I will be there. Any other members will be there to bring us. Okay. Express our sympathies. Finally, we have a group here, I mentioned it, introduction of TN's medical team led by Dr. Samson. Again, is he around? No. You have something to say? Yes.
Sorry, I'm sorry to take you back, but respect of the funeral of the leaders we are ready to give card tickets to Nana who represents either the National House or the regional houses to participate in the function. And I was assured that maybe right about 2 o'clock the card masses will arrive. So I just wanted to inform the house. I'm going to give the cards. Thank you. How many passes do you do now? It depends upon the discussion that we should try and get about 5 cars for each regional house of chiefs. And then, but if, for instance, you have 2 chiefs, 2 paramount chiefs representing a region, we'll make it 10. So that if you come with your grandmother, maybe you come with separate cars, and then at least 3 other cars for your delegation. The team that will pass.
Every region will have 5, and then we are changing to each paramount chief 5.
Every paramount chief who is coming will be given 5 stars, not regions. If a region descending through barrel chiefs, they will get pain.
Sometime
I'm
ago,
waiting for the cars.
we invited a medical doctor who spoke to us about our health. Today, we are going to listen to a team of medical doctors, prostate cancer, etc., etc. Doc,
What is it?
are you seated? Where is he? Oh, please. The meeting will be about child marriage and female genital mutilation. And we have met on this issue before. I'm surprised that we are here today again to discuss this issue, because I thought after the first or the second one that we discussed, we will be able to eliminate or reduce the barriers minimum. But according to them, it's still prevalent in our communities. And as chiefs who are in every community, I think we should come back to us and ask for our support, our leadership, to ensure that these harmful practices are eliminated from our community. Before we are 1 hour behind time, so today we are going to skip pleasantries and rather introduce the members who are with us, and we will also introduce Nanano. Apart from this engagement, when we finish, I will also engage Nanano on. We have a team of medical doctors, or a medical team of they call themselves science, and they won't have engagement with us for a short period. Number 3, sanitation day was launched last Saturday, and I need to brief the NAMO, and then ask the NAMO for their commitment to lead the crusade. The 4th one will be call order to enter the name of one of the chiefs into the National Register of Chiefs. And finally, our airline on the chief list is also ready. So we need to mention all these things. Each one of them will take us more than 5 minutes. I mean, additional hours. So we don't have the full membership here, because I understand Water region, they are having another engagement in the water region, and some of the other regions too will have a similar engagement. That is why our numbers here should be around 50. Ordinarily, we should be about 8. So, but I think 50 is quite substantial, and we'll have the engagement and go back to our respective communities, meet our traditional and our regional houses of chiefs to engage on the elimination of teenage pregnancies, teenage marriages, and the female genital mutilation. And on your behalf, I wish to welcome the team. So register. Let us first identify them, but we had wished that the Minister for Local Government will be here. Unfortunately, he has an engagement somewhere. He wanted the regional minister for Ashanti to be here. We couldn't make it, and he has asked one of his municipality executives also to be with us. So, our dear guests, you are welcome. Thank you. Praise God. Go ahead and you got the list. I want them to do the introduction. Okay. I have questions.
entourage for today's engagement is led by Honorable Evans Amochumesi, who is representing the Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. Honorable Evans Amochumesi is the MC for Central South Municipal in the Accra West District. We also have Dr. Wilfred Ochan, who is the country representative of the United Nations Population Fund. That is UNFPA.
I'm the President Executive of UN Population Fund in Ghana.
Madam President, I'm the Mazamu Chumesi, Municipal Representative for Central South Africa. Thank you.
So, Madam President, I'll continue with the introductions. We have Dr. Doris Nelson Adobiche, UNFPA. We also have Madam Mercy Lam, Deputy Commissioner, Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, in short, SHRAG. We have Nana Ajua Aredo, CEO of Alpha Development Foundation. We also have Victoria Ama Asifua. She is a principal state attorney and analyst crime and criminality of the National Center for Coordination on Early Warning and Response Mechanism. That office is under the Office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice. So now, President, this is the team. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much.
Nana Ibrahim Bombata, Nana, the year mine, the boom pow, the year mine, Tano, pow, the boom, away. Nana Sumeja, that is the Lutin Sama, Tobe, Bobolu. We have Nana Atude, that is Nana Usoko, Nana is here, Nana Kumawu, my hand, Nana. Domiaka, my name, Asante, Komura, Keep and doing. That is Bakoni, Keep and doing, Teleponic, and then Kolo, that is Zini from the upper west. And we have Zo Naba of East. So Naba. And we have Nana Tibuso Koura, that is Utobo. And we have Nana Tudu from Uti, Nana Mil, Nana Pasikane, that is Timokwa from Central, Nana Klano, my hand. Nana Ukumai, my hand. Nana Guy, my hand. Nana Apase, my hand. Nagodi, Apa is Naba, what is Naga, Naglopio. And that is Zini, Milibu, for February. Sorry, Nana Sampamanhene. Nana Drobo, my hand, Okote Dom Setiako. Nana Kachura, Tatato Grandma Seti was a Memphis. Dauda Yamea Toka, Tanapio, And then Grandman, President of the Central Region House of Chiefs. And we have Bokwe Jinapo, the second Vice President of the House, and Oji Ahobo Yajepi, the second, the President of the National House. Our council is here with us, Mr. Alex Obian Sante. I'm the Chief Minister, my deputy is here, and Mr. Kremet, he's the research officer.
Thank you very much. So we are about an hour late. So what I said is enough for introduction. We want the man from the representative of the regional minister. I don't know whether he was briefed at or what. MC, were you briefed?
Yes, please.
Okay, then it's your turn. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Country representative and UNFPA. Directions from the Administration of the Nations and the Regional House of Chiefs. The media, ladies and gentlemen, as Nana said earlier, the sector minister and the regional minister would have loved to be here, but due to an equal importance program that was being given to them, they couldn't make it happen. I was made to represent them. I am Honorable Evanzamo Chumesi, Municipal Chief Executive for Social South Municipal. Madam President, it is with great respect and appreciation that I stand before you today at this important workshop for members of the National House of Chiefs on sexual and gender-based violence, including child marriage with support from our partners, the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA. We gather here as custodians of culture, tradition, and community leadership to address some of the most urgent issues affecting our society: sexual and gender-based violence and child marriage. These issues impact us negatively, especially on our children's right to safety, education, and prosperous future. The National House of Chiefs under Article 271(5) of the Constitution is entrusted with a mandate to evaluate traditional customs and usages, eliminating those that are outdated and socially harmful, while also fulfilling other functions. Nana President, Ghana has policies and laws aimed at preventing child marriage and other forms of gender-based violence. However, although Ghana's child marriage is moderate compared to the regional average for sub-Saharan Africa, the practice persists, with some traditional leaders implicated as offenders. It is complex change requiring shared responsibilities and the involvement of various stakeholders, especially traditional leaders who are custodians of the culture and customs, with a constitutional mandate to eliminate outmoded and socially harmful practices. The ministry, in collaboration with the UNFPA and several partners in Ghana, is implementing a global program to end child marriage focused on empowering traditional leaders to promote social norms that reject child marriage, enhancing understanding of the complexities surrounding child marriage, and developing skills to implement effective preventions and responsible strategies. Strengthening partnership to create comprehensive strategies addressing the root cause of child marriage. Improving advocacy and policy efforts to end child marriage. Showing best practices, lesson learned, and innovative approach to ending child marriage. Concerning commitments and pledge to support initiatives aimed at protecting children's rights and preventing and responding to child marriage. Building and support services. The ministry has also partnered with UNFPA and Obama Development Foundation to raise awareness and lead paramount chiefs to declare an end to child marriage with their traditional areas. Nana President, I must emphasize that we have recorded several declarations so far in key areas such as Amgoga, Bongo, Aguna Nyakum, Akom, Avehabi, Uba, and involving traditional leaders and their institutions is vital for changing attitudes that involving traditional and their institutions is vital for changing attitudes towards gender-based violence. Its impact and the resources available, which is crucial. Therefore, education, advocacy, and resilience programs must be targeted and traditional leaders. This progress shows that more traditional areas needs participated in the declaration to ensure sustainable change. Lasting change heavily depends on community-led efforts. Traditional leaders hold the moral authority and influence to challenge the harmful customs and promote positive values grounded in respect, dignity, and human rights. I wish to thank the United Nations Population Fund for the opportunity to hold this workshop. I wish you all fruitful deliberations on the issues that will be raised here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Representative, for that insightful introduction. We invite Dr. Is that correct? You are the program. Who is the next person? Dr. Winfred Fortan, country representative.
Thank you very much, National House of Chiefs. Nana Vice President, National House of Chiefs. Distinguished opposition leaders, representative of the regional minister, our facilitators, including the Deputy Commissioner of Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, representative from Office of the Attorney General and Obama Development Foundation, staff from the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, the media fraternity, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to stand before you today with a deep sense of respect and humility to appeal to your wisdom, your compassion, and profound responsibility as custodians of our culture and our people. We are here today to talk about a practice that affects the very heart of our communities, child marriage. Our esteemed traditional leaders, I bring you also warm greetings from UNFPA Executive Director, Ms. Diane Keita, who has only been recently appointed as the Executive Director, and who is the first female African to occupy such a distinguished position. Her achievement today is due to the opportunity she was given by her family, by her traditional leaders, by her community, and the entire African region. She, together with many of these distinguished ladies we see here, was not married off as a child, and therefore able to achieve what they achieved. Today's gathering, led by the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, and in collaboration with RAJ, Office of the Attorney General, the Academia, Obama Development Foundation, is critical and places the moral authority of chieftaincy at the center of solutions for our girls, our families, traditional areas, and our nation. Why are we here? Nana President, last year, we came here, we started a conversation with you on ending child marriage as a National House of Chiefs. It is at its tipping stage and needs continuous engagement to ensure that Ghana advances its development with all its citizens actively engaged, including women and girls. and that we declare Ghana free of child marriage. This cannot be achieved without the full ownership and mutual partnership with traditional leaders. UNFPA's experience shows that when chiefs and queen mothers champion women's and girls' empowerment, all communities move. You are the custodians of culture, arbiters of disputes, and catalysts of development as traditional leaders. Your voices and services reach where policy papers cannot, where legal enforcements are limited. We all know Ghana has strong laws and policies to protect women and girls, including laws on child marriage, yet practice gaps remain. And this is where exactly the traditional leaders with far deep reach in their communities can play strong complementary roles. This workshop brings about 50, as you said, Madam President, members of the National House of Chiefs together to deepen understanding on the root causes of child marriage, to strengthen prevention and response, and align traditional leadership support with national frameworks so that laws and lived realities finally match. Distinguished traditional leaders, UN Population Fund has supported the global program to end child marriage in Ghana for over a period of time. In 2024, working with the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, we trained 120 traditional council registrars who did advocacy against child marriage and harmful practices using national engagement frameworks and child marriage updated toolkit. Following joint advocacy by UNFPA and the Papa Foundation, 4 paramouncies, Abana Nyako and Foega, have and Bongo publicly declared an end to child marriage in their traditional areas, bringing signed commitments to 7, including 3 that were done in 2023 in Oboa and in Kwamuru traditional areas. Here in Asanteman, UNFPA the 2022 visit to His Majesty Otumfo Osei Tutu II and to Asantahema Nana Konadu Yadon III helped galvanize regional leadership on adolescent pregnancy and child marriage, reinforcing the power of traditional authority to move social norms. I know that many of the reasons for child marriage, such as protecting the girl's honor, securing our future, or alleviating a family's poverty, come from a place of genuine concern. However, we must ask ourselves if these reasons give us elsewhere. That's the reason for our dialogue today. Child marriage is not a sign of our strength, it's a source of our weakness. It is a practice that robs a girl of her childhood, her education, and her health. She remains at greater risk of violence, abuse, and life-threatening complications during childbirth. Her dreams of becoming a doctor, a leader, all vanish. But the harm does not stop with her. It is faced to her family and her community. When the girl's education is cut short, she cannot contribute her full potential to her family's well-being or her community's development. That community denies itself of bright minds, their hard work, and economic prosperity that the girls would have brought. Your Royal Highnesses, as leaders and guardians of our heritage, we have a shared interest that grow on the premise that our cultures are founded on the principles of family, community, and the well-being of the next generation. We all cherish that. We want to build a future where girls cannot deny their pathways to growth and development of themselves, of their families, and of their communities. You have the power as traditional leaders to shape our customs and guide our people towards a brighter future. You can be champions who stand against the practice and declare that in our communities and in our country, every child has the right to grow, to learn, and to choose a path. For a girl's value lies much more in her potential to be a good mother, a leader, and a contributor to the society. I therefore appeal to you to encourage our our revered traditional leaders to promote social norms that reject child marriage. I appeal to you to strengthen partnerships for comprehensive community-rooted solutions to end child marriage. I ask of you to enhance advocacy in line with Ghana's robust legal architecture and child protection frameworks across the board, from palace to parliament, in communities and provinces, and with parents and partners. And finally, I appeal to you to secure commitments and pledges for concrete actions to end child marriage. Madam President, finally, and distinguished chiefs, I want to use this opportunity once more to say a big thank you for opening your doors and your arms wide for us to receive us, and always the National House of Chiefs can make history in taking that bold decision to declare end to child marriage and follow up in each traditional area on the campaign of one paramount at a time until every place in Ghana is a safe gate and offers safe passage for every girl to be responsible adult. The leadership has already shown what is possible. When traditional authority speaks, communities move and God's futures are open. Let us leave this place with one voice, one plan, and one promise. No girl in Ghana will be married as a child, and every girl will be free to learn, to choose, and to thrive. I thank you very much, Madam President.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wilfred Ochan. If you look at the program, it appears we have two parts. The first part is the delivery from the representative of the regional minister and Dr. Ochan's delivery. We'll come to the second part. And now, our distinguished MCE said Ghana has laws and regulations on sexual abuses. He also went ahead to say that child marriage is part of our culture. I don't know whether I agree with him, but personally, what I know when I was growing was betrothing a girl, and I'm not saying that one should really be encouraged, it should be discouraged. But if people tell us that child marriage is part of our culture, it's a big challenge to us. Then Dr. Winfred also said child marriages cannot go on without Nananom involvement. Indeed, again, Nananom have been chastised that we have closed our eyes for child marriages to go on. What are the root causes of child marriage? UNFPA has produced funds to end child marriages and other harmful practices. It is a source of weakness to the girl, it is harmful, and in fact, it affects the girl's health and emotional development, especially at the time of delivering a child. But that teenage girl, she goes through all sorts of trauma. It's a source of in short, this is the sum. They say it is part of our culture. And we have closed our ears and eyes, and we are encouraging it. There's a lot that Nananom can do to stop this, even though we have laws and regulations in the country. Nananom in their domain can stop child marriages. So I'll open the floor for the next 20 minutes for Nananom's comments. Thank you. Indeed, some regions were mentioned. I hope Nananom you heard the regions and the areas. Any man? Not long, yes.
that was recorded. But I want to explain a few things, and also including your own comments that we should have gotten rid of this country by now. I don't think it is because we chiefs are not doing what we're supposed to do. But we, the chiefs, appreciate UNFPA's leadership in ending child marriage. We've been doing what we can do. Gender-based violence and improving family health. But I must emphasize that extreme poverty, particularly in rural areas, remains the greatest barrier to achieving these goals. When families are struggling to survive without livelihoods, income, or opportunities, harmful practices become coping mechanisms. Poverty pushes parents to marry off daughters early, prevent young people from pursuing education, and weakens women's ability to access reproductive health services. Too often, girls migrate from where I am coming. I am the paramount chief of Nambodi, Northern Traditional Council, in the Upper East region. They migrate to the south for labor, which results in early marriages and disrupted futures. If poverty is not addressed alongside health interventions, progress will remain limited. We all are aware that poverty and early marriage and all these things are correlated statistically. I haven't made this important appeal because for me, I do not believe in excuses. When you give me a job, I must do the job. I am a man of tenacity, and my watchword is that it's not over until it's over. So I am not doing this to give an excuse for us to sit on our orders. So I want to encourage my colleagues at this stage that an appeal to our august and caring guests. I also want to encourage my colleagues not to underestimate or underrate the subject matter under discussion, but rather to give it the fullest commitment, no matter the difficulties. In so doing, I want to disabuse a certain misleading argument that is gaining currency. Some people are beginning to water down the seriousness of child marriage by reducing the issue to sex alone. They argue that since today's youth engage in premarital sex at an early age, and since the Constitution permits sexual consent at 16, marriage at that age should also be acceptable. Colleagues, I do not agree. This line of reasoning is flawed. At the age of sexual activity does not necessarily carry burden of childbearing, but marriage does. Marriage is inseparably linked to childbearing and family responsibilities. And for successful childbearing, maturity of the female anatomy is very critical. With birth, if you give birth below 20, you are likely to have a problem because the seed of the child you are supposed to bear, the pelvic bones, at the age of 20, that is when it is well established. And so if you become pregnant earlier than that, what happens is that when you are about to give birth, you will face labor difficulty or labor obstruction, what the medics will call dystopia.
will normally need the intervention of the doctors. Are you aware that in most of our communities we don't even have the doctors? How much more to have specialists? So when it happens that way, there's child and maternal mortality. And if you look at the statistics, you will realize that countries like India and Bangladesh and all those places, they are ahead, and it's because they have very poor zones. I just want us to know this critical point so that we take it seriously and don't water it down. That everybody should ensure that we terminate this canker of premature marriage, early child marriage. With this, I just want to thank my colleagues for giving your ears, and I want to thank my good friend Nana, President, for allowing me the opportunity to express myself. Thank you very much.
Now, I think we'll go to the next part. I have given him about 10 minutes. If we continue like that, I said 8 minutes. Many people will not have the time. But I'm happy he says yes. We shouldn't pretend as if the problem does not exist. It does. But where he didn't explain was whether it is part of our culture or not. He also went further to say that even the age of maturity assigned to girls is really too low. I hope you said so. Nana, I thought you said 20 years to be okay instead of the 17. 16 years. So he's even advocating that the age of marriage should be raised to 20. Because yes, biologically, it's as if the problem does not exist. Whether it is cultural or it is not cultural, it is there. Where I also disagree with him is about poverty and stuff like that. If people are poor, then it's only the girls who must be taken to bed to provide for the family. What about the wives? What about the wives? Or families who do not have girls at all? What happens to them? Oh, look at all this when we come to the discussion time. Let's go to part 2. Thank you. The survivor story. I want to ask yes? No. Yeah, that's correct. The survivor story. Survivor.
Thank you, Nana President. Nana President, we want to. So, please, press people, we need to censor videos, please.
Stand on the established protocols as I lead this Agnes House through the subject matter Ghana's legislative framework on child marriage, which is aimed at protecting the rights of children and promoting gender.
Short from what we know is trash. And I must say that we have offices across the country. Yesterday, trash has about 200 offices across the country. We may be in your community. If we are not in your community, the next community where we have office, take care of that. I must say that the story of the lady, it's touching and it's still there. As I was coming, I looked through our data and I found that 2024 we received 18 complaints of child marriage. From January to June, we've received 9 complaints of child marriage. So, Nana President, the issue of child marriage is still present in Ghana. The presentation I'm doing is on gender-based violence. We have to actually understand what is gender. Sometimes we mix gender with sex. So there's difference between gender and sex. gender is not the same as sex. But when time we are speaking, we say gender. We are referring to as sex. No. Gender is referred to socially constructed differences between women as distinct from sex. Gender refers to socially constructed roles, behaviors, activities, attributes that were given in the society. So when we are referring to gender, we are saying that it's the socially constructed roles that we have given. That a man is supposed to do this, a woman is supposed to do this. We have assigned that role. So it's based on that we see that this particular role is for women and this particular role is for men. And that is gender. When we are referring to sex, we are saying that sex is the biological. So it's a man. Things that shows that this person is a man. That is sex. So when you are filling forms, they will put their sex. And that's where you take man or woman. It's different from gender. As I've said, gender is the socially constructed roles. We have constructed that roles to ourselves in our community. So it depends on the community where we come from. And we say that a woman's role is the kitchen. It's gender, or socially constructed roles. So that's the difference between sex and gender. Because of my time, I will move a little bit fast. But when you have any question, I will be prepared to answer that. So when you look at this picture, you can see that sex is biological, whilst gender is the responsibilities, the behaviors that we have put there. So generally, you will see that when we are in our communities, if you look at this picture, you will see a young boy sitting somewhere and women also sitting somewhere. It's just telling you the difference between the sex and the difference between the gender. Gender can be a man, it can be a woman, but it's the role that we have constructed to these people. So when you look at this table, the aspect sex is biological and physical, you see it. Gender is social, cultural, or psychological. Example is that we have gender identity. Somebody, because of the role that the person is playing, you identify that person with that particular thing. Then I said, there are a lot of positive aspects and negative aspects of the roles that we have assigned to individuals based on their sex in our community. So you can see some positive, we can see some negative implications there. So for example, we tell our people in our community respecting elders. Yes, everybody has to respect the elder. It's a role that we have assigned. It's a social norm in that community. When you go to some communities, when they are greeting, they would kneel down, others will stand. Some you will greet with your hands, others will greet by doing signs and other things. That is the social role that they have constructed. These social roles, some leads to our cultures, and have harmful practices in